bless you so much, listeners and viewers. Say and so many Quenya, some no more Kasa. I check Yamia Sanka. I didn't use ya. In the I know say when you have to pass, you have the chance to listen to me on these pressing issues. Now, I'm saying Uncle Pandum so baby and TSS and a yeah, baby, I was said the etono at the ato. Because I say, baby, I didn't down as a one fan to a free. See, and me know Bobby didn't come out about jewelry. So, you share these days are a very pressing issue in the media. And all over the obeti so be so my call hell about and Yankopon Akache me say my and share asomade. I sorry be or how moon share asomade or moon share rings and in your account. But say share constitution and in the Bible no. Whatever anybody goes to say, and as I say obe can be na say and ne trust them no enquire. We have every right according to the scripture to throw it away. In the podcast in which our sister both won't put if it's true. Ebe catcher say ebe preaching another gospel different from what you have heard. That angel should be accursed. Until the revelations can come, the established doctrines of the church can still be there. But the question is that what does the Bible say about jewelry? And number say yeah born come. And they say to us Osha, you want sorry ni bi oha if you am go din at this. But because I open and I said 20, they said deeper life, 7-day Adventist, and some of the other circles, you know, you go there and they tell you that earrings are wrong. Now, you better reasons whether trust them and my acquaintance or bar, bet me, Asher Asumka, and answer all the necklace, be better to con, and answer all the ring, be better, whether the scripture allows us. It's young called the root of jewelry. Then I had the jewelry. That year. That's they take precious stones, metals from the earth, whether iron, brass, silver, or gold, to manufacture the earrings. Now, the first mention of brass or iron, in the book of Genesis chapter 4, verse 22, it was a certain man called Tubakin. According to the scripture, and Zillah, she also bare Tubakin, an instructor of every artificer in brass and iron. And the sister of Tubakin was Nama. We understand that Tubakin became an instructor of every artificer of brass and iron. And ne brother Jubal, a father of all those who play the organ and the harp. We have Jabal, the father of all shepherds. It is offer these children and as a grandsons of Cain. We had one who was into brass and iron. We had one who was into organs and harps. Then we had a last one which was into sheep and cattle. And to be someone said, the fact that these people are from Cain, wicked Cain, did God not use any of their items? Because obo harp, obo organ, all instrumentalists, mo papa Juba. That is what the scripture says. And if you are into sheep rearing or cattle, and in your account now, so what we need trader, you should know, sir, the father of those who rear the sheep and cattle is a descendant of Cain. Sounds now who you should that year is a second and answer any machine. You should know, sir, your father is Tubakin. See, beside a lot of people have stated, sir, baby, materials no more year as some can in your currency, my answer. Okay, it may be so. Who you should second of ye? Who you should anything that has to do with metal? What's an account? Because cars will grow how much did at the end of the year. Okay, let's go to the scriptures that they normally use. Now I'm sure even Yeja Abraham. Okay, the next time I ever say anything about earring, I think the first mention was even with Father Abraham. Yenina Yeja. Okay, into Yansha. I say, so Abraham edin Yankupo for so many years. Now, Isaac. And many soon said, all the Isaac bema warrior. And when Abraham was sending his servant out to go and get a wife for Isaac, one of the items are all the cow, or the ma Eliezer said Uncle Jaware, or the earring at the cow. Because Matisse ebi say earring ejina homa bosonsum. Ebi say ejina homa say obi eyakwa. But Abraham ekwa Jaware no. Or the earrings asumkai the cow and all the jewelries and in the cow at the cow. The question is, was Abraham promoting idolatry? No. But there was a man called Laban. Now you say Laban, no yabusumsumni. So you see that whatever jewelry that left the house of Abraham as something that was sanctified unto God became an idol in the house of Laban. And the Abra Jacob efi Laban fieno. Now was say omote. So one of the items omodi to one of the things they had to put away was actually earrings. And according to the scripture, they had to change their apparel too, because of where they were coming from. So Rebecca was still holding on to the household idols. So you see Jacob telling the people to put earrings aside, or they should sanctify themselves, and they ended up putting their earrings aside with clothes. You see Abraham giving earrings to go and take somebody's daughter's hand in marriage. So we see a balance here. Now yenko the Exodus account, the popular account that yenyanum bebre na eyusu against earring, where Aaron no mupe, because Moses Afro people and he wasn't coming. He was having a communicate with God, I think about 40 days. And the people got tired and they asked Aaron to make a god. Now edi kan say Genesis chapter Exodus chapter 3 now. Na Nyankopon edi kan catch Israel for says omu efi Egypt no. They should borrow jewelry from the house of the Egyptians. Omu njiji jewelry they should borrow. Inti asumkana Israel for a year bosom no. Actually they were among the things that they took from Egypt. Inti Nyankopon kwa catch we say when they borrow it, they should wear it on them. And no who Exodus chapter 3, I think the last verse. Let's see whether I could just get it. That's Exodus chapter 3 verse 22. But every woman shall borrow of her neighbor and of her that sojourneth in the house jewels of silver and jewels of gold and raiment, and you shall put them upon your sons and upon your daughters, and you shall spoil the Egyptians. Until when Nyankopon na instructed almost said they should take the jewelry and they should wear them. Right. So why would God tell his people? Both men and women. He said they should wear it. So as they were coming out of Egypt, they were cladded with all these things. So why would God tell them to wear something that has to do with slavery and that has to do with idolatry? But you see, the people decided to give their earrings to make an idol. Now the interesting thing among for kind is another time Nyankopon Ephraim said, Moses called for items to build the tabernacle of God. Now when they brought the items, item back home they buy to build the tabernacle, not earrings in so count. So the same earrings that were used as gods, the same earring was used to build the house.
It was not just earrings; they were precious stones.
They were
and they had to bend those ornaments to build something in the house of God.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure. So they used these same things, and God, according to the scripture, God was pleased with it.
Yes. I think even the ark had some good ornaments.
Good, exactly. Yeah. So these were all ornaments they got, including the earrings that people are condemning. Okay. Matisse Ibinsu Akase. Earrings are a sign of slavery. Now, because of the way our a cast anything, but say a cancer scripture, no. Then you at the pot in a Bible, no, a treasure. And we'll go to the book of Exodus, chapter 21, verse 1 down. I say, now these are the judgments which thou shalt set before them. If thou buy a Hebrew servant 6 years, shall he serve, and in the 7th he shall go out free for nothing. And when he said, God is talking to the house of Israel. Or sister moto Hebrew servant. And first of all, this scripture is talking about Obia Obeden, Hebrew servant. And the acquire say will be a Juma. And one employee with church member. Say onunsu be Juma ewo. And that is the setting. Yan for I share dream. I see nipa ne be serve for 6 years. The 7th year, woman and go free. Now the question is some more employee Christian brothers do you let the person go home in the 7th year? 7th year, so I know I can change. So time now soon. According to Exodus account, 7 more here than echo. Yeah, and it's now. If we don't do that, then let's continue. If he came in by himself, he shall go out by himself. If he were married, then his wife shall go out with him. If his master gave him a wife, and she have borne him sons or daughters, the wife and the children shall be her masters, and he shall go out by himself. Bibi say this amra ways one now. If I say what bedroom, and now open obi man and say on worry. Okay. Now when you get to the 7th year, will you tell the person say okay, Sisiano, Obana medina maono, me mana ko Obane dear, meji Oban. It doesn't work in our days.
Yeah.
And Yentuaso, if the servant shall plainly say, I love my master, my wife, and my children, I will not go out free. Moon notices such scripture. I say, then his master shall bring him unto the judges, and to Monfan Embra atembufono. He shall also bring him to the door, Monfan Embra upon no, or unto the doorpost, and his master shall bore his ear through with an awl, and he shall serve him forever. Into a certain more than a upon him. Now, what Chianason? One can't earring once and more. He just said, pierce his ear with an owl. That's all. But it be the earring at the account because, and you don't see any earrings in this scripture because now Israel they were already wearing earring. Monkaisa Makasa Genesis Exodus chapter 3, verse 20. And Yankopon Asha said they should wear the jewelry. Which earring was part? One which they use for the idols. So, in fact, among the Jews, earrings were not a sign of slavery. Among 4%, they will force the scripture for us to look so. The point I was saying noting is that one, the person must be a Hebrew slave. He must have served for 6 years. They must bring the servant before the judges. Now, I want to ask it wasn't like that. Bring him to the doorpost of his master's house. Did the ladies doorpost in China, because if you don't follow this systematic process,
then it's flawed.
It's flawed. Our God is a systematic God. I say for 1 + 1. Now say 2 minus 1. Cultural long equation. He doesn't accept it. So this is our God. So we also see in other scriptures, Abraham, Job. According to the scripture, Job is one of the blameless. In fact, he was blameless. But Abraham Odin kunim ewo instruction now okoye muno. One of the items omo present man in the earring. Emma Job eje. Job impo je earring etumu. Now scripture back wa eye me wanwa. Eye Ezekiel chapter 16. Abraham Yankopon describe ne wife. How he dressed his wife. It was interesting, sir. He made mention of certain things. Ezekiel chapter 16, verse 9. Then wash I thee with water, yet I thoroughly wash away thy blood from thee, and I anointed thee with oil. Semunya time from verse 1. I clothed thee also with broidered work, and shod thee with badger skin, and I gathered thee about with fine linen, and I covered thee with silk. I decked thee also with ornaments, and I put bracelet upon thy hands, and chain on thy neck, and I put jewel on your forehead, and earrings in thy ears, and a beautiful crown upon thy head.
So Yeshua, not just say Indian phone are following this particular trend.
because nyankopon ena all kasa. Inti amanfo bebra mo draw nyankopon ne yire on share all those things, you know. You will see, say you are painting the wrong picture because God is saying that for his wife, when he saw Israel, and we saw this picture when they were coming out of Egypt, all this ornament they put on their body. It being so ready scripture be Isaiah chapter 3, another important scripture. Now I see some people are very dishonest with their scriptures. They deliberately pick what they want. But the thing is, say all kind of scripture, may he be in film. Just make sure all the scripture is intact. Obi a true constitution. And now we decided say obey be a film. Now the Ebia account.
That's being unfair.
That's being unfair. Into my main kind Isaiah chapter 3, no, as I hear wind it down. Moreover, the Lord saith, because the daughters of Zion are haughty. I say Zion man or moye ahomaswo. And walk with stretched forth necks and wanton eyes, walking and mincing as they go, and making a tinkling with their feet. Therefore the Lord will smite the scalp of the crown of the head of the daughters of Zion, and the Lord will discover their secret part. In that day the Lord will take away the bravery of their tinkling ornament about their feet, and their cords and their round ties like the moon. The chains into Obobonyama or Moshe. The chains and the bracelet and the mufflers, the bonnet, into once our bonnet, into your banner say who you see scripture wing, Eddie chest and my end, share earringer, wabo bonnet so, and a wasanka and the ornament of the legs, and the headbands, who use headbands are now, and the tablet, and the earrings, the rings, the nose jewels, the changeable suit of apparel in Tadia. Mosesano. It is all person who uses that scripture where that means Oba and Sawata the and the mantles and the wimples and the crisping pins. Pins cry ya modest some more no cry the glasses eye mirror. Maybe Sasa who use mirror now. You use mirror and the fine linen, Osha fine linen, and the hoods and the veils. And it shall come to pass that instead of sweet smell, there will be stink. In the mano, they don't have to use perfume if they want to use this scripture. Because and instead of sweet smell, there will be stinking smell. Instead of a girdle, a rent, and instead of a well set hair, baldness. Maybe say, do you want to go bald as a lady? No. And instead of a stomacher, a girding of sackcloth, and burning instead of beauty. So you see, when we are studying the context of the scripture, once you saw earring, you picked it, you singled it out, and you built a doctrine on it. Same way. And I wonder, say, whether they read all the context of Isaiah chapter 3. So over New Testament, more. I know there it's even worse because we don't see any New Testament scripture speaking on earring. The only scripture, 1 Timothy chapter 2 verse 9, which spoke about women should be decent in their clothing and they shouldn't wear gold.
So what it meant was that even though it was virtually part of their culture.
It was part of their culture.
And some of them were overdoing it.
Exactly.
Looking more like prostitutes, if I may put it that way.
And pride.
Yeah. Because and making it is too much gold on the person. So of Elisa on heaven.
Exactly. It's on top of the world.
But so like 2 Timothy, as you are saying, it was for women to dress modestly, decency,
and also with shamefacedness. Then he said, not with broidered hair or gold or costly array, because those days, no.
Because sorry, you said something about say they had chains even on their stomach.
Yeah.
So if it means that they were not wearing clothing that covers their stomach.
To expose, they rather expose themselves.
So if we go back to 2 Timothy, it means that it is kind of distraction.
Yeah.
So wear something to cover yourself. Wear decent attire or different decent apparel with decent
earrings
and something simple. So it is not about God saying that we shouldn't wear earrings at all as women.
But the purpose, because obi or her or share earring genuinely, it is because bosom. Obi so or her or shatter there. She wants to be a slave queen. Who are you going to slay? You are going to slay a man. You dress indecently, and it attracts attention to, your physical outlook instead of attracting attention to your inner beauty. So the Bible entreats us as Christian women said they should dress decently. They shouldn't draw attention with all kinds of jewels on themselves. Also, obi to me share gold. Those days, no. Nobody good, any pearls are him. So you see that the person draws unnecessary attention to himself, and it creates competition within the church. So even when it comes to attire, the Bible spoke about decent and modest. You don't wear a clothes that would now make you look. Even sorry, Krana, you are comparing yourself with the people who are seated down. I'm the best dressed woman in the church. And someone on the crown, it doesn't even come to mind. You are just thinking about your dress.
Yeah, you are
comparing. Hey, we actually go to any ochina. Or say me pay 24 karat. I say me pay 18. I say me pay 10 karat. So it becomes, you create an unnecessary environment.
So it's a kind of simple. Wearing of earrings now, and yes, it is bad. As such for you to wear them, but for you not to create that competition, that attraction, that kind of distraction in the church. That's why it is advisable
to be simple
and modest.
Exactly.
So when you say nyankopon chiri,
exactly.
Say men
God didn't hate it. Why would Abraham give it to his servant to go for the marriage? What about Job? So James I can't say you say the rich man comes to the church with a gold ring, and you tell him to sit here. A poor man comes and you say, hey, you sit down there. He didn't condemn the gold, but he condemned the attitude that are shown to people. Mokaya Joseph, when he became king, Pharaoh actually gave him a ring, and now Nkombeka said wakoji edru. Oye software wakoji edru. So Joseph had to wear Mokai the prodigal son. Prodigal son. Abra Obefin, one of the things are the papa the man a ring. And the Obibeka say, hey, on warrior, and wash a ring awareness. I did say, wakodi edru. Because of this concept, this misconception about rings in tea. As of one crowd, Obi share ring for phobia, it becomes a problem. There's will be our far baby. But God neither supported or I'll let rephrase my statement well. God didn't condemn earrings and jewelry on their face value.
Okay.
He condemned it only.
Let's wrap up.
Okay.
Let's wrap up because this is very interesting. I know a lot of people we are going to have issue with this particular post. But let's wrap up. God doesn't hate anybody wearing rings.
Exactly.
But how you wear
the mindset.
How you wear it.
Exactly. And why you wear it.
Okay. So but your wrap up for us.
So to tell you the truth, if you can bring a scripture which would let us know that God hates earrings, I think we'll stand down. But I want to tell you, if I've been in a church, I've spent about 19 years in a church that doesn't wear earring. If I've taught doctrines, I've taught also in the past that Christians, women shouldn't wear earrings and so forth. But you see, as we move, we study the scriptures. Our eyes of our understanding is open. So I am not speaking as an outsider. I'm talking as somebody who has been in a church system. We don't put on chain. We don't put on earring. But when you look at the scriptures, we don't see these things. So you see that it is a tradition of man. Finally, brothers and sisters, you see, God can give definite instructions to people. God can tell you that you don't put on earring. When God tells you not to put on earring, don't make it a doctrine for everybody. That is one dangerous thing that people do. God tells me not to play football or not to eat gari, then all of a sudden I make it a doctrine for the whole church of God. It is to you. So genuinely, God has told certain people not to wear certain things, but don't make it a doctrine for everybody. So earrings, if you are wearing it, my sister, be convinced with yourself. No scripture is against it. But if you are wearing it for idol worship, then note that you've gone wrong. If you are wearing it for competition and all kinds of things which doesn't glorify God, then you have a problem with God. This is a little I can say about jewelry, earrings, and so forth.
Same bro. Wearing of earrings, no, and now chain near the adeno. According to what Osofo Joshua is saying in the scriptures he just mentioned, no, and trese a bonnet. Sometimes some people are giving direct information, direct restrictions. Don't do this, don't do that, don't do this. And they make it a general thing that affects a whole generation. And you know, we can say traditions of men. But the ring now, ocean. What is the reason? Reason in the audition ring and then they were here. Yes, in a mystery. But reason audition ring and then they were here. Reason auditions are chain near some dear and why you who to say Ibino and then they were here. Be a baby who said a sec a shit in Yankupon Dino and Nunam. Medin the Quakumafe, a church vibe now ocean. Namia Doma that say never sensia, and it also for Joshua and the Dean Como. It's so now or Kofodia or Yoko, or Honor yet, or Yenaso, or Yoko School Park, Methodist School Park, and so Honor or Nin sorry ma a dish a shim, a bomb pie, swing young croupon asem. So unya adajia utimifa honum, a coutin and coupon seminibi. So unya adajia, obetimi a cononima bomb pie. Now or JB be your wood dear. Namishra saw her church vibes. The best she shared us.